Alright guys, welcome back to Frog Boy X1 Gaming and Tech Reviews. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to kind of address that video about regretting the 4090 because I do. Like, I really do regret getting it because now that mystique, that like that imagination is gone now because I actually have one and I'm using it. Like, I'm currently using it. So like before ever getting like a 4090, I was able to like just imagine it being like this incredible product that was just, you know, like slightly out of reach, or you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't have that same. Now that I actually have one, I'm like, okay, now I know exactly what it does. You know what I mean? Now it's like, now it's not mysterious anymore. Now I actually have one, and I actually have other GPUs as well. I have multiple other GPUs that are, you know, let's put it this way. If you're a regular person, okay, and you have the build that I have, and you're upgrading, and somehow you land on a, you know, the amount of money that you need to get it, you don't have any other worries, you don't have any other bills, nothing like that, but you have the same platform that I have, a 7800X3D, you've got 32 gigs of RAM, you've got, you know, like just say the stars line up perfectly for you to be able to get a 4090, and you just so happen to have the same build that I have. Once you put it in there, okay, you know, let's just say, hey, you got everything you need. 7800X3D, you've got the power supply, everything. Like, the stars line up. So you put the 4090 in there, and then you proceed to game, and you get the experience that I'm getting right now. Okay, say, you know, and say your only other experience was like a 5070 Ti or a 9070 XT. Okay, and you just happen to get the 4090. When you put it in there and you start gaming on the 4090, like, it legit kind of feels like a downgrade if you have a 5070 Ti and you're addicted to frame generation like I am. It's gonna feel like a downgrade. Like, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, dude, I was getting way more frames with the 5070 Ti using MFG 4X, or, you know, you're playing like certain games and stuff. I don't understand why everybody just seems to think that, like, oh my gosh, this I mean, or take for instance, like, maybe you were gaming on an older GPU. Maybe you went from a 3090 to a 4090, and that 3090 was slightly better than a 3080 10 gig, which is, you know, you've got cards like the 7800 XT legit trading blows with a 3090. Okay, like say that was where you were at. And then you go to a 4090, which is significantly better than a 3090 was. Significantly, like I get it. Like, I understand you got a massive upgrade. I think everybody that went from a 30 series to the next gen cards got a massive upgrade. Like, it was a big enough upgrade to where everybody was like, oh man, that's incredible. Like, I get it. Like, I understand like the full sentiment around the 4090. Like, I get it. Anybody coming from a previous generation or that to or even a 30 series straight to a 40 series card got a massive upgrade. You did. Like, the 40 series delivered a decent upgrade. But it's kind of weird because, like, the 50 series, you know, the 5090 is not a massive upgrade over the 4090. And you still got really performant cards in, like, your 4070 Ti Super. You've got the 4080 Super, the 4080. You have a freaking you have the 7800 XT. You got a 7900 GRE. You got a 7900 XT, 7900 XTX. And then you've got, you know, all of the newer cards, like a 9070 XT. You have the freaking the 5070 Ti. You have the 5080. Like, you have all of these cards that are legit vying for that top spot. So I mean, like, your high-end cards, like your 70 class cards from this current generation, from Blackwell and RDNA 4, are very performant cards they don't use as much power, and they can push with the features up to 4090 experience. I mean, even a 5070 with the features, as Jensen said, can push to a 4090 performance when using the features. So when I look at that and I'm like, okay, $550 to get a comparable kind of experience using MFG 4X, one has to ask, like, okay, like what the heck is going on? Is it, even on a 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte, when using MFG and DLSS4 and all of that, yes, you can get a playable 4K experience on that GPU. Like you just can. And it is a good enough experience to where it's like, okay, this is actually freaking playable. Like I showed you guys playing Oblivion remastered on a 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte at 4K resolution using MFG, using freaking DLSS4, and I was playing that game at 4K resolution, and it was playable. Like it was legit playable on freaking 4K with that GPU. And so when you play Oblivion on the 4090, like, yeah, it's playable, but like you can legit get a good enough experience using the features on that game to equal what you're getting on a 4090. Like you can. And there's no other way to there's no easy way to let the 4090 bros down that like, look, man, quit buying these 90 cards. You guys are legit wasting your money. You could have bought every generation of freaking 70 class card over the last 3 generations for the same price that you paid for your 3090. And now for your 4090, you've like it's just ridiculous. Like I get it that like when the generation is there and you buy these cards, especially with the, I've been saying this for a little while now that like, look guys, I think the features and the AI is probably the thing you want to watch the most, because it's going to give you that level of performance with less, like you don't need as much to get there anymore. Like we're already pretty much tapped out rasterized power wise, like we are. Like, I mean, the 4090 rasterized, I mean, in some of these games, I'm legit getting like 20 frames more at 4K. And then the card just, it doesn't feel as like robust and powerful in every scenario as it should. Like you would think that it would just feel like this, like, oh my gosh, it's a powerful beast. And to an extent, I mean, even looking back at like my experience with the 7900 XTX, I mean, that card was good, man. Comparing that to a 4090, it was like, yeah, okay, so the 4090 gets a few more frames, or it's a little bit faster and everything. And the biggest thing is these games that are optimized for NVIDIA, yeah, they do run pretty good on NVIDIA, and they tend to not favor AMD. But the same can be said about games that are well optimized for AMD. And guess what? I actually like significantly more of those than the ones that are optimized for NVIDIA. Like mostly almost everything from Ubisoft is optimized well for RDNA, like for AMD. And I like Ubisoft games. I play a lot of them. And so when I look at this, if I was, I guess when you play as many games as I do, and you go for the AAA bangers, I mean, obviously I was a console fanboy for almost most of my life, good 38 years of that. I was a console fanboy. So when you look at that and you go back and you look at that, like I was pretty much trained to play AAA bangers, and so that carried over to PC and stuff. So I'm playing all these AAA bangers and stuff, and I go through a lot of games. I play a lot of games. And so looking at this from a perspective of like what's better, 4090 or the new Gen 70 class cards, I would recommend the 70 class cards any day of the week, because you have enough tools in your toolbox with these GPUs to actually outperform the freaking 4090. And I know the purists are, if you're a purist and you're like, no, I'm like, guys, there's a lot of games on the 4090. here's the difficult part about it. Is like with my 70 class cards, I can go all the way down to 1080p and all the way back across and utilize these cards like pretty efficiently. Get way high frames at 1080p, really high frames at 1440p, and gosh dang it, a good 4K gaming experience. With the 4090, with the 7800X3D, if I'm going to 1080p, okay, like it's pretty bottlenecked. 1440p, bottlenecked more than I would like to admit. And then 4K, it's like, oh my gosh, man. I'm stuck at 4K on a 4090. You know, trying to play at lower resolutions, you know, maybe 3440 by 1440p. It really is like you really are kind of trapped. Like trying to go to 1080p is just going to bottleneck that GPU. And so like what other options do I have? You know, if you want my honest opinion on what you should buy, I would stop buying the 90 class cards. Get a 1080p monitor, get a 1440p monitor, get yourself a dual mode monitor. That's my recommendation, honestly. A 4090 is not a bad card, and trust me, it performs significantly better than anything on the market on select games for sure. Like it really does, and it really does have a lot of power. But there's things that you're gonna want to play like I don't know, man. Like anything older, you're just gonna struggle with, man. You're just gonna struggle with. I guess you could, you know, start trying to run everything at 8K with it, and maybe it performs a little bit better that way. But you know, I just, yeah. I mean, I've only had it a week. Like today is 1 week. I've only had the card for a week. I don't think that's nearly long enough to like fully, you know, give you like a 100%, you know, review of the experience on this card, because like yesterday was my first full day of actually being able to just game on it and see how it works. But I legitimately come back to the same feeling that it's like, okay, like this card, I mean, like as the weeks go on, you know, I'm going to keep it as the weeks go on. I'll start testing it on some of that other stuff, like, you know, down sampling from like 8K and stuff like that to see if I can, you know, squeeze more performance out of it. But it's already a struggle just trying to, you know, go down to lower resolutions to try to get more frame rate. And I don't know, man. Like this card uses a lot of power. It really is. It doesn't feel as optimized as like a 70 class GPU right now. It doesn't feel as optimized as like a 60 class. I mean, you would be better off getting an X3D CPU and any card under a 70 or 70 class and under, because you are going to have an incredible experience. It's going to be highly optimized. You're going to have good frame rate at lower resolution. You're going to have, you're going to have a better experience on a 70 class and under GPU with an X3D chip than I'm having with the 4090 right now. And that's not a jab at the 4090. That's just the honest truth that nobody else is going to tell you. Nobody else is going to tell you that. They're all just going to be like, yeah, I got the best card. And then they're all just going to go back and sit at their desk and be unhappy and cry about the experience that they're having right now, because they could have been having a very optimized gaming experience on a 70 class and under. I mean, I guess you could potentially throw the 5080 in there, but you're going to have a better opportunity. You're going to have a better experience at any card under the 4090. Even the 3090 would probably be better than what, you know what I mean? Like you're going to have a better experience overall throughout the rest of these cards. Because why? Because they are actually more optimized for gaming, whereas a 4090 and a 5090 are legitimately designed and built for the AI bros, because that's where they're really going to shine. Those cards are really going to shine running large language models and doing all of that stuff, other than playing video games. Like even a 7900 XTX, that card for some reason, that one felt pretty dang good. Like if I look back at it in hindsight, that was a pretty dang good card. I'm actually surprised that it did as well as it did, you know, at like 1440p. I never did try that card at 1080p though, but I did play it at 3440 by 1440p, and I did test it out on 1440p a lot, and that seemed to do pretty good. But I used to get bottlenecked on that card too. I used to get bottlenecked on that card as well. So yeah, but nothing as extreme as like the 4090. That's crazy. So I want you guys to be able to have a good experience. I do. And chasing like a 90 class card, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could get a 9800X 3D or something and see if that would like boost the card even more. But at this point right now, I have the two builds, so I'd have to put one in each of them. And yeah, dude, maybe later this year, maybe I'll do that, but not right now. Not right now. So, all right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.